Sometimes I wonder why flies come inside. You got all that square footage. Is the world is vast. You got zip codes at the very least. You could go rooftop to rooftop, front yard to backyard, avenue to avenue. You don't have to wait on the lights. You could do all this wondrous flight as a fly. Why would you come inside? Why would you want to be inside of a house if you were a fly? I do not understand that. I'll probably never understand that. I've even opened the door. Opened the door and it's the storm door where it's real clear where you go outside. And if you start bumping your head on that, I'll open that. I'll let you get out. You know? Why don't you want to get out, fly? Why? As soon as I open it, you fly back in. Just to meet your ultimate torture of starvation and confusion for a place you've never been before. Whatever's going on, I just hope I don't do that as a person. I look at the fly aimlessly. Um, they might go upstairs to downstairs, but usually they just circulate in like one of two rooms. It's nothing in there for you to eat. It's no mate in there. It's nothing familiar in there. And you seem a little frantic, fly. What are you doing? You could free yourself. You can truly free yourself if you just pay attention. I think I've learned something from the fly today. I'm not finished with this lesson because the fly is still buzzing around and it's big. So if it gets around this microphone, he might get a guest appearance too because it's loud. It's one of them loud buzzes. Sound like an access buzzer. I don't get it. But we're still, we're all in the process of learning, aren't we? And with that, welcome to episode 40 of Sorry for My Language. Yeah. Yeah. Episode 40. I should have like a party or something, like I don't know. You know what? Sorry for my language, man. Hey, I have a plan. Okay, I have a plan that will have black boys and white girls not doing Shannon Sharps. I have a plan. And I can't remember Dr. Martin Luther King's speech. Was it black boys and black girls? Black, white girls and white boys? I don't know what his speech was, but shout out to Martin Luther King. That's right. Oh, you're going to respect the genius here on Sorry for My Language. And before we go any further, my podcast show, Sorry for My Language, is brought to you by Grindstone Universal. It's the place where progress is made and truth is revealed, which is one of the only ways to reveal truth is to make progress. Even if it's progress when you're just sitting with yourself. GrindstoneUniversal.com, where progress is made and truth is revealed. It's the place that is the epitome of urban luxury. Cosigner say I'm lying. Now we have, we're entering springtime, and I'm learning some things. I'm learning a lot of things. I don't know if I'm learning at the rate of a child or if learning has slowed down, but I feel like I'm learning a lot quickly about a lot of things. Now, to a lot of you who might be pet owners or foot commuters, this might sound average, but I'm not a pet owner, and I'm normally not a foot commuter. But lately in the mornings, I've been getting up and taking walks. And what I've learned from getting up and taking walks, when the sun is sunning, it don't work the same at night. I've learned that there are several wonderful smells to smell, which is almost like several wonderful sights to see. I mean, the flowers at this time of year are just busting off. They're trying to attract birds and bees and pollinators. And the one thing they attract is people. I don't know if they're trying to attract people or not because people don't help the cause. I guess we do. We like roses, and then we like, I don't know, do some genetic magic with roses and stuff. So roses get to live longer. Certain plants we do like, and then because we like them, we let them live longer. Um, but man, just walking down the street, they're flowers and plants. Some of them aren't even floral. Just things that have smells with them that really get me going. It's like the cologne and the perfume of the earth. And, a lot of the times, oh, let's way over there. I was going to grab a bottle of cologne. A lot of the times, we feel that we need something with a spray bottle top to get the smell smelling right. But nah, man, sometimes you just need to go outside. Like yesterday, I was outside and it was this one tree. I'd never seen this tree before, but it was just giving flavor. So I cut a flower off. And with that flower that I cut off, just like I'm cutting this phone off, with that flower that I cut off, I had I brought it in the house and then just laid it on the table. And then this morning I came downstairs and I was like, damn, what's that smell? I mean, the house was smelling groovy. And I was just like, man, what is that smell? And then here's the little flower. And it was a itty bitty joint. Like it looked like it was shaped like this. Like it looked like a giraffe's eyelash. It was just like 4 or 5 things on it. Man, look, had the house smelling on perfection. And then so today I walked by that same tree and I grabbed 2 of them. But the thing about it, it's not really that close to the house. And so, you know, me walking down the street with 2 flowers during the sun, they probably weren't going to make it. I wasn't going straight home. I had to stop by a store and all that. But all that to say that you could be newly curious. You could have new curiosities ignited just walking down the street. And it's really, really cool when you think about the complexities that people go through to get a rise out of something. People search for an adrenaline rush. People search for a smile. People search for a moment and really chill out. Walk down the street. It's out there and it's really beautiful and it's free. Shout out to free. It's good money. So I'm really happy about I'm really happy about a lot of things going on. I guess one of the main things that I'm thankful for is my perspective that I have right now. And like I said, I'm learning a lot of things at once or in this time. Like this time this year and this time last year were so very different. Yeah, they were related. Yeah, they were cousins. But what was going on was so very different in my life. And I know I'm not the only one because living in Washington, D.C., so many people were living with jobs. Goodness gracious, this thing is screaming at me. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Hold on. We're going to give you some groovy music. Whoa, almost serendipitous how that groovy music stopped. And then my secretarial needs or duties stopped. But one of the most important things that I'll say is that there is a difference going on, and people are in a situation, especially with all the federal government jobs needing to change and everything that's going on here. People have lost their jobs. I know people who are really ass out right now, and these are people who are amongst the stable ones in our community. And it's a lot of panic going on. You know, it's a lot of self medicating going on. It's a whole lot of new shit going on. And it's times like this when relationships have to change. The relationships with everything else change, and now the relationship with yourself has to change. The relationship with others have to change. And you might not know how to do that because for whoever knows how long, 5, 8, 16, 21 years, you've been having these relationships locked in who you are and who people are in relation to you. And y'all just kind of, things change, but y'all just kind of travel as if nothing has changed. That's an interesting relationship that supplies some sort of comfort, some sort of normality. But I don't think that's the healthiest type of relationship that you or them should have interpersonally or personally with yourself. Now, what do I know? I know a lot less than your inner self knows, but I got some real good advice. This was actually in hot Pilates class. I don't know if this was hot. I don't know if you call it hot Pilates or hot vinyasa. I think it was hot vinyasa yoga flow. Something, if any of y'all are watching, don't get mad at me because um, you know, um, I might fuck up some of the terminology. However, this is in these changing times, and just feel this because it's to be felt. Your money is gonna go up, your money's gonna go down, your money's gonna go sideways. Some of your bread gonna walk on out the door and close it behind itself. But let's say things are good on the money side, right? No matter how much money you have, and no matter how you have it, you might have it in gold, you might have it in, no matter how your value is assessed. Um, you can die at any instant stressing over it. You can be put in a very compromising position in any moment because you interacted with somebody else who was going through something. Okay, so don't let things stress you out too much. The only thing that can happen as a result of panicking is drowning, and that's literally and symbolically. So in these times, don't panic. One simple medicine that you could give for yourself is the medicine of a friend. So go get a friend, find a friend. Each person has a friend. There are different types of friends. But here's the work. Go make a friend a good friend. That's the different type. And then you and your good friends go make a little community. That means a few of you might link and clink and do positive peer pressure things. See, because as adults, one thing that's very easy to do is link up with your friends and have negative peer pressure habits because you were probably young when you linked up and you were probably curious and this was probably the most daring shit you could do, right? And then you kind of sophisticate it by doing it as an adult. It's nicer places to do to sink to your lower self, but let's scratch that for a minute and let's link up as the friends that we are and become good friends in a positive space, in a constructive space. Let me not even judge negative or positive, but just in a constructive space. So, a lot of you all know that there are several types of friends where you can do a bunch of negative shit with them, a bunch of destructive, possibly freedom altering things with them. But the moment you say, hey, let's do this, they'll be tapping out. They'll come out with excuses like, I can't do all that shit. But then you'd be like, man, fuck it, let's go do this. You know, the wild side thing. Hell yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, I'm with you. But then you also have these friends who are comfort zones, right? So just look at it. Imagine this. Think to right now or think to your very recent memory. When you were in a room full of people that you knew, it might be a loose association, it might be a fairly tight association where you know somebody. A lot of you all know each other, and you all are talking to each other, you're laughing, you're having it up, you're philosophizing, you're doing whatever the fuck you do. You're talking about each other's clothes, shoes, whatever. You're talking about celebrity news, right? You spend all that time and you never talk about how you're doing in real fucking life. Or you never talk about, none of y'all never talk about what's really going on in somebody's life or family. Nobody's talking about the real side of the real changes because all y'all want to keep that painted smile on. And then you leave that place having felt good because you got that little love drug right quick of friendship, but you still are screaming out for somebody who you could talk to. And at that time, you got to reevaluate the word good friend or the term good friend, or maybe it's just friend. And these are my friends, but they're not my good friends. And if they are, you haven't crossed that border because you might be afraid that some of them aren't your good friends and some of them are. I think at this point, I pretty much whittled down who is my good friend and who is just a motherfucker I know, right? And the motherfucker who I know, that's cool. You holding good space right there. But I'm not going to confuse that with good friend. And please don't do the vice versa. I can't count on you. And if I can, it hasn't been proven, that grace hasn't been extended, and I probably haven't reached out to you in that way. So, like, let's just keep it what it is until further notice, you know? So, who you know isn't always your friend. But what I'm saying, in these changing times, and times are always changing. So, as you grow right now, why don't you just make sure that you start distinguishing friends from good friends and then recruit good friends? But they got to go through the recruit process. You got to talk to them. You got to do some action. You have to say, you know what? I'm just going to come over just to fuck with you. You know? And I do that. I've done that. I've definitely done that with some people. And some people have shown me that, no, 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 we're not good friends. We're just friends. I'll see you with a group of people. I'll see you at a festival or some shit. I'll see you at a bar space or I'll see you, you know, whatever. At which point I was like, all right, cool. And I don't think in any situation where I've tried to reach out to somebody, I've taken it personally, but I've seen it for what it is, at which point I uninvited myself to their good friendship. You know, because there are times when some people might just be talking, they might need a friend. They might need a good friend. And from my quiet observation, I've noticed that a lot of people right now need a good friend. And this isn't saying doing something that's not in your wheelhouse. This is saying do something that you've probably been resisting doing. There are people around you and inside you like, man, I really want to tell this person how I'm really feeling. I really want to tell them. Like, I really need somebody to talk to. You might even really tell this motherfucker, I really need somebody to talk to, right? Because I see all the stiff upper lips. I see all the crocodile. I see a whole lot of shit just in people. And I know y'all want to talk to somebody more than that therapist you got to pay. Because insurance ain't covering it. I'm knowing. And that's cool. But let's just start where we can, right? We're not that impressed by your accomplishments anymore. Everybody's moving and grooving. Somebody's going to make $1 million. Somebody's going to get sued $50 million. No joke, but real time. Somebody's going to go bankrupt. Somebody's going to get totally scraped clean and divorced. Somebody's going to get a new job making $25 an hour. Somebody's going to lose the new job they just got. Let's not base anything on the accomplishments let's not wear our accomplishments as badges anymore. Okay? Let's get over that. Let's start relating to one another based on the the energy vault in each person. That's where the currency is. Like, let's relate, because right now when we have people obviously disregarding people in society, um we have people trying to hold it together, whatever the it is. I don't even know what the it is anymore. Like, I don't know what the look is. Let's say if it used to be you go out and you buy a bottle of champagne with people, or you buy a bottle of champagne for them over there and just throw up a peace sign because I don't know, because you got it like that. I don't know what the it is right now. But I think the it right now would be appropriate as having real conversations, being kind, being open to people who you can actually do that with. Going out on a limb to do that with people who you want to do that with as well. I don't think doing all this, look at what I've accomplished shit, look at where I am in the world, sipping my drink. That's cool. You could do that shit too. But like, I don't think that that's the best advertisement of you anymore. I don't think that's the best advertisement of us anymore. I don't think that the things that we do are the best advertisements of us. I think that who we are, I don't even think that we need advertisements anymore in turn, like, to define us. I think that we need to really start meshing with one another as people, amongst the people who we could fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying go out here and be a fool amongst wolves. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying what we need to start doing is making deposits in interpersonal relationships. Because when you think about it, in the, let's just say before before smartphones, right? Before you could take a picture or video with your phone. Um, I really can't remember what was dominating the space like that, like right before the phones came out. But people would go over people's houses and be, talking. It might even just be a drop through, whatever, but it was like some real action going on from one person to another. Like, hey, what's up? Man, what's up? I'm in the neighborhood, man. I'm gonna stop through. I'm gonna da 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 da. And yeah, that shit got annoying, but at least you knew the person who you were fucking with. You knew who you knew. And they didn't have to catch a highlight on a time stamped post. You know, a lot of y'all be crying and shit in real life and posting prawns and champagne. So y'all ain't fooling nobody no more with your damn face filters and body tricks and shit. You not, you not, you're not doing what you think you're doing. And it affects everyone because the loss of you and your authenticity is a loss at opportunity for another person to have an authentic interaction with somebody, and I'm with the celebrations and shit, but like, let's be people to one another. Let's just try that out. Um, Everybody who you know is affected by what is currently going on in the economy in America. If they are not personally affected somehow, they're secondhand affected, meaning that they got to pull up the slack for a relative, or they have fewer clients because their clients are affected. So even if you want to act unaffected, you deal with people who are affected. And that person needs you to be present. And you realize the benefits from being present with people who you fuck with. Like say if you have a company and you employ people, your company is doing numbers. Just because your company is doing numbers does not mean that your employees who you really, really love aren't being hit in the back of the head with a bag of river rocks every day that is life in a bag. Like getting hit in the head with a pillowcase full of soda cans every day. And then they gotta come out every day and perform for your company. Right. So just because you might be like, shit, I'm all right, I'm all right. Okay, well look around, bitch. Look around. You being all right is wonderful, but look around. And that's what I'm saying. Make a friend a good friend. And once you understand what a good friend is, you'll be able to exercise that little modality a little better. You know, when it comes to positive, po- what's a good way to say this shit? Positive pressure peer groups. Um, Lean into those relationships better. You might not know those people as well as you know your unhealthy, destructive relationship friends. But how long ago did you meet those unhealthy relationship friends? I mean, when I say unhealthy, I mean y'all just do unhealthy shit, and that's the norm, and that's y'all's comfort zone. And eventually, y'all gonna be dealing with each other's uh, hospital visits and bad news phone calls because you just kind of continue down this road of your unhealthy shit. And I understand it's smiles and it's fun and it's, yeah, this is what we do. But, you know, lean into that positive peer pressure shit. Who's whatever constructive and positive looks like to you, like who are those people who you tap in with every now and then who do a thing? Man, fuck with them 1.5 times more than you fuck with them now. Y'all are closer linked than you think. Y'all have the internal drive that matches up. And people be like, I don't like new friends. I don't like new friends. I get it. But, just make sure that, the nurse isn't, doesn't become your new friend because you've been doing all this bullshit with yourself, with people who also don't like new friends, you know? Not unless all your friends decide to adopt new habits. But like lean and who knows, it might be, hey man, this person got the sound bath going on. And oh, this person has I don't know, they write write shit that's on their mind a lot, and they have like a writing clique. And in the 90s, motherfuckers used to have writing cliques, and that shit was not corny. That's where kind of like rappers would click up, poets would click up, motherfuckers would click up and just be writing. That shit was kind of dope. And that shit, if it does exist, I don't know where it exists. I don't know. I think the phone is just taking over that sacred art of writing. But, and I'm just saying, some people might have hiking, some people might have I don't know what your constructive um focal group looks like, But lean into that shit a little more. It'll be like a buzz that you get in the same way that you might get a buzz from walking down the street and smelling the flowers. Like this shit it's all around you without you needing to unearth something new and wildly I don't know. You don't need the newest buzz of all. You don't need the man, and then we went and bungee jumped and then went to Vegas and then went to Spain and then bought a $5,000 purse and then spent $3,000 on this motherfucking what's them shits that go down the canal, them little boats, like whatever the fuck. Like you don't have to ultra ball out and gram it out for everybody. Y'all can just be good to each other. That's a whole new fucking buzz. Just being good to each other, being open with each other, being real. You know what I'm saying? And I think now we have almost perfected being fake in close spaces. So I just really want to improve on that. I think that it also becomes very toxic when we remain fake and then we start doing fake shit so we could be our own friend. We start doing shit out of character so we'll get approval from ourselves. Let me show you what that means. Let me give you an example. One thing that men will do, sometimes it's for others, sometimes it's for the genuine curiosity, but sometimes it's just to show ourselves that we could do it. Sometimes men will entertain women who don't match them, but the woman might be cute, right? So you seeing if you could bag this joint, really just to see if you could do the shit. And then so like you get a badass little whatever the fuck woman who other people would give you the thumbs up if they saw you with her, but it was an accomplishment. It was an achievement. It wasn't a move that's going to make you more full, more happy, more fulfilled. Matter of fact, you lightweight want to keep her on the low because when she opens her mouth to talk, that shit be on bullshit. So you reaching in your pocket, spending money, because you got to spend money on this motherfucker to do something. I don't know. She got to eat or drink or be seen in the place where the people are going to give you the thumbs up. But you're not fulfilled. And the whole time, you're just trying to impress yourself because you're missing something. Your ass need a friend. Your ass need a friend who's going to tell you, you need a good friend. You need somebody who's going to tell you, hey, I see you got the bitches. But look at who you with, Shannon. I know most of y'all know somebody who's with like just a little stunt freak. They really need to get called on it. And y'all ain't calling them on it. And then you think, what's at the bottom of that? Not literally at the bottom of that, but what's at the base of that behavior? Why does this type of person have that type of mate? Why does this type of person have this type of matchup? Is it all for the sloppy, juicy? Or is that person trying to prove something to themselves? Or like what's going on? We good? We checking on something? We good? Right? We need more friends who are going to ask us if we're good, And who really going to take us there, ask us about it. Some of y'all chicks, y'all want to be seen on the boat. I wonder if that fly flew in my damn mouth. Shit. I told you that motherfucker was going to try to guest host, and now... Woo! What is it really?
What is it really? Tell me what's it really all about? What is it really? Are we doing this for real? Cause I don't have time for games. Tell me what's it really all about.
Woo! What was that really? I'm pretty positive it wasn't a fly because it didn't move. But yeah, sometimes you need a friend who's going to ask you, man, what is it really? What we really doing? This was the flyest shit in the world. I remember when I was 21, just the wonder and the mystery of getting that new broads and fucking with it and going out and, oh shit, this worked. That didn't work. This worked. That didn't work. And it was such a buzz that it had me addicted like a strong drug. The chase, the capture, the everything, right? But then that period of chase, capture, and stunt, that shit lasted a little too long. I'm not gonna front. No, 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 no. Let me not say this as if I have regrets, but it really gets to a time. Shout out to the pandemic too. You know, hopefully, hopefully some of y'all broke some habits during the pandemic, but sometimes you'll be with somebody and it'll look like a form of fulfillment and you won't even be fulfilled. You know, like it's like eating potato chips or some shit. That shit don't solve your hunger. It's just like the crunch does something and you just crunch and crunch and crunch. And then you lay down like, damn, I ate too many chips. Some of y'all just dating a bag of chips. You know? And so I just want, I wonder if this mic is gonna pick that phone. My phone rings, that joint be chirping. I need attention, nigga. Nigga, I need attention, boy. Shout out to that phone. I'll be having my sound haptic setting on super duper high. But no, what I'm saying is that we need to go more for fulfillment. We need to understand that things this year are not the same as they were last year and the year before and the year before. Like, should be different, right? But at the same time, find a friend and then make some of those friends that you have good friends. That's the medicine. And that's the message. And that's a great place to start. And remember that a lot of stuff that you have in your life, you invited. And going forward, you have the ability to invite more things into your life or to roll the door down and lock it on some of the things so you don't invite those things into your life. So a lot of your baseline of life structure is your creation. So create a good day. Create a good tomorrow if you're able. But stay focused. Because this ain't the first or the last time shit gonna change. Right. And I'm not just talking strictly economic. I'm just talking about, man, we ain't even back on our feet from the pandemic. Niggas don't even know how to socialize. You don't know how much the people around you were affected by some of the deaths, some of the terror that they might have had being told they was about to die on the news every day. Like, we ain't even got all that shit straight yet. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think that there's really a need for us to do better with one another, with ourselves, and understand that some friends need to be better friends. Some friends need good friends. Some of them people who you just like toasting it up with, hey, fuck it, buying them a beer or whatever you doing, splitting fries with them, man. Some of them need a talking to, man. Some of them want that. But y'all got this rigid ass way of existing without changing that existence and evolving. We gonna get up off that. And when I say we're gonna get up off that, I just mean we're gonna do better. You know? So my plan is to do better with myself, to do better with family members, even in family structure. I swear, man, it's some relationships that are as they are. And even if it's not optimal, it's worked for so long that evolving into like a, man, how you doing? What do you need me to do for you? tell me about this, tell me about that. Like that might even get a little uncomfortable, but it's necessary because you can't live like you were when you were 19 and you're not 19 anymore, you know? So I just wish everybody the best evolution they could find. And for right now, I'm going to wrap this episode of Sorry for My Language up. This is episode 40. I'm Grindstone. Go to grindstoneuniversal.com and find progress where truth is revealed.